Ships are calling, no time to waste. They never left us, truth sets the pace. We are galactic, and third eyes on. It's time to practice, it's close to dawn. Time to awaken, we have been on. Old worlds are shaken, you have been warned.
Okay, let's call it I had a dream, and let's imagine. It sounds very far-fetched and very crazy, but I want you to open your mind and feel what I have to say. It's like this. Imagine there are parallel dimensions and parallel worlds. The ships that we see are actually the parallel dimension hoppers. They're not from outer space, they're from parallel worlds. Some beings are sophisticated enough to know that we exist. Some beings don't know. What the contact has to be established is like understand that you put it in a way like imagine you have neighbors, and there's a possibilities of attaining plane tickets to certain dimensions, like coordinates. Not all your neighbors know that you're their neighbor because they apparently never traveled and you never traveled. But when you go from what you have attained on Earth, you go to other worlds, you have superpowers. Not here. Why that is, I have to figure that out. So I had an experience. I went on a hike into an extreme field of where I felt like dimensions would just have me out of place, where I was in my body but I felt I wasn't really on Earth. And I can't explain that to anybody. It sounds very, very far-fetched. So the idea is, some theorists believe that our DNA has a program of going interstellar. By that I mean is life has no choice but to go interstellar at some point. And I think 2012 was the dimensional crossing point for building or bringing that possibility in that we can cross actually. But it has to be done physically. It can't just be done just by mere theory, or it's beyond. Like people have to understand we are trapped in our own concepts. We are trapped in a three-dimensional world because we are trapped by our own thought pattern. And what's coming in is that we have to free our mind from vegan is not going to save you, raw food is not going to save you, meat is not going to save you. No matter what you do on Earth to attain health, whatever lifestyle it is, whatever belief systems you have, Buddha, Brahma, God, Yeshua, Joshua, Elijah, Maitreya, Jesus, these are all theoretical belief systems on beings that already had the capacity to go there. Not all of them share that with you. So, what is to be attained is an inner understanding in your perception and a certain atomic structure in your brain that will enable you to travel worlds with spirit and having a vessel. Sometimes you leave your vessel here and you travel there. Sometimes you do it physical, which makes it harder to return. That's why we have spirit projections that help us to travel. In the movie John Carter, which I highly recommend, the dude touches a module and projects his image out of his body into a imagery body from Earth, but leaves the vessel behind. It's sort of like mummified. So what happened to me this morning, I had a 9-hour hike. I was completely exhausted, completely, how can I explain? Like you have to be exhausted beyond consciousness. Like you have to lose Earth consciousness in order to go there. And I don't know how to explain this to you. And I feel like everybody on Earth receives these downloads right now, especially about these eclipses. It doesn't matter what you do or trying to attain, or what business adventure you're trying to go. Is the option of travel has to do with the spiritual maturity and how you're going about to attain that. And it has nothing to do with belief. It has to do with being. being clear, in the mind, and it's not just being positive or doing the right thing. It's like you have to fill in the blanks, put the puzzle pieces in place. Okay, here is what actually happened to me. Is, as I explained, I was on this extreme hike and extremely exhausted, and have established to eat ormus, monatomic gold, and have actually next to nothing in my stomach. I drank this morning chaga tea to clear and cleanse, so I still have nothing in my stomach. I feel actually pretty good. I'm not hungry. So I go to bed, close my eyes, and it's beyond lucid what happened to me. And for those that think it sounds so far-fetched, then it's not might not be for you. It's like, what's important is what the other side wants is feel your brothers and sisters, feel what's being spoken. So, and it doesn't, it can't even make you rich what I have now. It's like, I don't know, beyond leaning out the window for what we do it. Right now we're recalibrating consciousness, recalibrating evolution and understanding of self. Once that is done, preparatory stages of complete emotional clearance and emotional ties to all parallel timelines and lives. Very important, because we got called here to Earth to fix Earth and got it basically on a quantum level entangled to a point like we were caught in a three-dimensional Venus flytrap. Couldn't go back out. Even for those people that saw the light, it was a holographic trickery to get the soul back here on Earth so the spirit wouldn't project outward. Meaning, like, yeah, you have a mission on Earth, you die, and then some angel appears, and appears to be an angel, tells you you gotta go back, you got a job to do. And you are going back, or incarnate back to Earth, and we're looping actually. In cloned bodies in different versions, I think there's a template of 7 systems where we all come from. The entire human race is cloned. Everybody is a clone of a clone of a clone. All your parallel lives, you all looked alike, just altered versions of whatnot. I seen a picture from a dude in 1647 looked like John Travolta, compared with another picture, and I was like, holy shit. I saw a picture of what's his name, David Wilcock, Edgar Casey, same face. Like, you're not the same being. The clone always carries that experience of the carrier in that vessel. That means you link to that, but you're not that original piece. So now it's time to become that original piece. In the movie Oblivion, you'll see that with Tom Cruise. If you remember the original piece of your template of who you are, all of that copied systems actually is a copy, and you become the original. And when you become the original, you're free. You're free to go anywhere. So what happened to me this morning was like, it's mind-blowing. And for the first time, it's like a world premiere. My girlfriend is helping me to anchor this in and hold it as she's holding space for me right now, because I sound nuts and I'm overwhelmed and I'm full of energy. She can feel the energy, so she knows there's something behind it. Maybe that somebody that watches the video can sense the energy and the passion that I have talking about it. So I'm waking up in another world. It's like I go to sleep here, I wake up in another world, like Avatar. The dude jacks in, wakes up in another body. I kind of look like that over there, but I have superpowers. The scene is this, and it's like the Matrix. And it just happened. I just got out of bed, it just happened, because I was very, very exhausted, and I tried to take the day off, easy Sunday, and whatnot. And I see something like cobblestone and a field and a tree and a hangar, like an abandoned, you would say, Russian airport, whatever. And that's how I came in, with clothes. Not like the Terminator, the dude comes in naked when he travels. And it's not time travel, it's dimensional parallel universal hopping. That's what that is. And there are laws, rules, and regulations that you can't breach. You have to learn self in order to travel. So I'm basically there. It's like, and then I'm looking around. And when they say lucid, right now, then right now I'm lucid. Like, I was crystal clear as I'm clear with you right now. I knew my name, everything. I knew the planet that I was from. I memorized all that. That's the link. My memory is actually the travel link. So I'm in this field, and something tells me test the gravity, and I'm like, I can't get off the ground. And they're like, it's Earth-like, but you're not on Earth. Now remember your skills. It's like a protocol that comes in. So I jump, I can fly, I can levitate, I can teleport. So from there, I tune myself in. It's like you're landing in the woods somewhere. To tune yourself so you can walk amongst the citizens, actually, because you're interdimensional. I come in there, and I'm in this old town. Looks like a German town. I think people spoke English. The weird part in that dream was like I thought I was thinking German, talking in English, but it was in English. So they're similar to us, a parallel Earth. They don't call it Earth. I spoke to beings over there. Like I made contact with beings on a parallel planet, and it's amazing. It's like it's beyond what you can buy with money. It's like they allowed me to cross because I have reached the mind state where they see that I have the maturity to establish that contact, and it will trickle in to people like you. Everybody will have the opportunity to get right from within, to do right from within, to really be right and just and do the right things you're supposed to do on earth. Then they open the gates. So what we have to establish, and that's the mission. And anybody that's sleeping right now, it's beyond missing the bus. We are to establish an angelic landing platform in our in a piece that is where you control basically the reality in a part of an environment that makes you where you work. And a lot of people will do this. A lot of beings will have the opportunity to do this. So I'm over there and I'm realizing, okay, I have probably 2 to 3 hours to stay in this world. And I remember I used to be in these worlds, but I was very unconscious and very not really understanding where I was. So I asked people, what time is this? They have a completely different time reference. Um, they were kind of like shocked. They could accept me as humanoid, but the things I said is like was utter nonsense to them. So I went to one store. In the end, let me see how can structure this, because it's very complicated. Right now, it's costing me a lot of energy even to hold that reality and bring that reality with me, so I can anchor it in here and say this is my experience. I was literally leaving my vessel in my bed in this world, in this universe, and I jumped. I crossed because I was exhausted. Like there was a point where I really basically had to give up Earth consciousness. That's when something happens. Then I met a woman in the street and I asked her like, what is this? What is this river down here? She said it's the line, it's the lime. I'm like, okay, this doesn't make sense with any river that I know on the planet as far as my geographical knowledge goes. I'm like, okay, you look pretty much like a Western civilized being, but where are we? And then she told me the name of the city, which I couldn't really compute. I couldn't really understand what that means. Like some words, when they talk to me, it's like like I can't hear it, as if it's scrambled. But the in between stuff that has a level of a parallel communication aspect, I can get. So I ran to people, um, and I said, I'm from another universe. I'm looking in here. Do you understand? I'm making contact, and they were shocked. Like I looked like a bum that lost his mind, and people didn't know what to do with me. And then there were some kids, and I said, I can prove it. I have some skills to prove it. And they're like, show us, show us. So I levitated, like I took off, and they applauded. But still, people looked at me. I'm the strangest phenomenon that ever happened to their planet. So I went into a store, saw a guy that I knew from a parallel life, and said, "What's your name?" And he was like, "Yorn." I'm like, "In this life, your name is Björn. Here it's Yorn, and you love football. You went to kindergarten there and there. You grew up there and there." And your mom is like, "How do you know all this?" I'm like, "Because I know your parallel life. Meaning not directly your life, but I know your a template. So it's like you're like an echo of that, but at an altered version." He was like, "That's amazing." I was like, "Can you help me? I need some money because I figured that my blood sugar is dropping. And because my blood sugar is dropping, it's something that my brain produces that I need in order to stay in your world. And when I lose that, I gotta go back home. Can you help me?" So I went to a store, tried to pay with euros. Why I had euros in my wallet, I don't know. In this world, I don't. That was for my all produced from my memory banks. So your memory is important because you create. I showed the money that I have, and they said, "Well, the money that you have comes from this district 38." and they pay in that currency. We in this district, we don't pay in that currency. We have a different currency. Their coins were really like octagonal shaped cubes, triangles. They had like the weirdest money system, but it's somewhat to our system as an exchange, or what you would call a barter system. So the dude was discussing and arguing with me like, I have no time to argue with you. I need a piece of sugar so I can attain the information that I need to get from you people while I'm here, because I was trying to find somebody that is, would say, in an esoteric sense, is as crazy as we are, so I can exchange some information, because that's how we can establish the link between these worlds. So I couldn't find anybody. I was in a town where nobody was on a level where quantum physics and all that. I couldn't explain that. I couldn't explain to them, but I was there. They experienced me. I spoke to a few beings. They all looked at me in wonder and awe. I could fly and teleport, but that didn't turn me into a god or a savior. They were actually more scared of me, and I knew who they were. And they like, what is this phenomenon, this being coming here? You look like us, but you have these gifts that you bring with you. It's weird. So they weirded out. So I argued with the guy at the counter trying to get the money. Then I got the money, and I bought something that looked like a Snickers. I was like, I'm already going coma. I'm about to fade. I was beginning to fade out of that world, and I saw how that happened. I tried to open the Snicker bar, and I'm sorry, and I slammed back into my body, but in a nice way. Woke up. Basically, in the end result is this: I'm talking here as I was coming back from that world, and realized a few things, and I don't know how long that works. Usually I'm losing that. I can hold the intelligence from travel. If you become an interdimensional traveler, you become very, very smart and intelligent, which is useless to worlds that are not on your level, because they can't link with what you have to say. So I'm saying this before I'm losing this, because after this I have to lay back down because I'm completely exhausted from the travel. Is Your body is actually a time machine. Your body is a parallel hopping dimensional device. And if you have monoatomic or ormus, certain mushrooms like chaga, I realize, reishi mushrooms, and health stuff that clears your system, you will have the capacity to jump again. And that's for everybody. It's beyond religion, it's beyond all the images that you have ever created on this planet, because they're all planetary based. You have to open your mind to a quantum based thinking. That means leave the levels of construct and compartmentalization of what should be and what your experience is, because I realized when you jump and you go there, you can only work with what you have, and you gotta learn from scratch. And that's where we're going. So many of us will create these platforms and will exchange that knowledge, and we know where we're going. Free energy is not even the tip of the iceberg. It's beyond that. It's freeing energy, actually. And then it gets really phantasmagorical. And 2012 was the threshold, actually, to bring that in, to make that jump, to make that connection. So contact is not only the ships; these are parallel jumpers. Some ships come from Earth. The major problem of what they call aliens is actually human. These are the humans that have to do with the fallen spirits that don't want you to leave Earth. And they come in metal ships. They come with military. They come with manipulation. They come with disguise. All types. It's beyond what you call Satan, Lucifer, God, good, evil, plus, minus. It's a whole game of manipulation that the mind and the consciousness got trapped in. That we have the opportunity to leave, while we understand geometric downloads, holy sacred geometry, really knowing what that is, and intuitively drawing a map. And this is the map that we will draw, the map to the way home. And I'm trying my best to map this out. I have a theory, which is a tremendous download of a physical download of a mapping system with tones, frequencies, and sounds that should inspire those that are as open as I am to see and draw conclusions to where that might lead. And I'm gonna end this way, and I'll probably collapse. I'm praying that I won't forget this. That's why I put this video in memory. And I know now how to hop. I have to really exhaust my vessel without any intake to alter myself. I was crystal clear with the memory of myself. And interestingly, is for those that hop together, if you don't remember the being as is, if you remember the being as imagined, you lose your friends, basically. Like if then that accounts for relationships and what they call twin flames. What I realize now, the twin energy means is that you both have to remember each other originally who you are, not how you imagine the being. Because imagined situations will create conflict in your reality construct and your anchor points in this reality. And all I'm talking is straight up download that I'm getting straight up from upstairs. It's not concocted or created to be, or I'm so creative, I'm so talented. It is what is, and this is what the source communicates to us. And all the source wants is to wake up to the fact that we know who we are and not to our imagined selves that we're living right now. It wants us to wake up to our true self identity, and that your higher self is the futuristic version of yourself that is who you truly are. And slowly, with the skills that you have that come back to you, you truly remember who you are away from the imagined self. That doesn't make any sense, and it won't help you to further yourself. You'll get stuck. And there will the split that might be with the people that say, I see, like grandpa once says like, I like my mono radio, stereo is the devil. I don't want to deal with the devil. I stick with my little basement with my mono radio and my black and white TV because all the other stuff is crap. Well, you will stay in that dimension. That's your choice. The others say, I like my iPad, I like my iPod, I like stereo, I like quadruple sound, I like interdimensional sound, I like color, I like interdimensional color, interdimensional, ultra sight, ultra clairvoyance. I'm open for that. Well, you have the opportunity to go to other playgrounds. And the split will be between those who are skeptic to those what's coming to them, rightfully earned, and the others that say, well, I'm open for it. It's just like a ticket. You're like, I want a ticket to Hawaii. Everything is legit. Let's travel. And all I'm saying is what the communication wants me to communicate is be open.
You said allow versus I want.
Yeah, put that in your escrow. Allow versus I want. Don't say I want to be filthy rich. I want to do this. I want the ideal girl. I want the ideal man. No. And that is what it is. It sounds dogmatic, but what I got from this travel this morning was say to yourself, I am worthy. I allow myself to be abundant in a way that is needed. I allow myself to be in love in the way that is needed. I allow myself to be that fully and purposefully fulfilling my contract as an angel in human form, to let that what needs to come to me, and it'll be joy, it'll be bliss, it'll be bright, and everything will be there to assist you so you can actually cross that bridge. The opportunity to go there is already established. Now it's up to you and your spiritual maturity to do that. Those that deal in weaponry and illegalities and destruction of the human race can not cross by their own choice. That is how the dimensions protect themselves. Like imagine atomic power in a world that's sensitive to that. You can't bring that over there. It's impossible. That's like a border, and they're testing you. There are gods that are scanning you. What are you up to? Do you hold your own? Are you creating your own? Are you originating your own? Or are you stealing? Like everybody else does that, go to Hollywood, everybody steals scripts from everybody because everybody does it, so everybody thinks it's normal. Banking system, everybody jinxes numbers left and right, Wall Street, because it's the game. That's how you survive. Don't get caught in the okie doke. Don't get trapped. Have a business, be authentic, be transparent, talk about everything, clear your path, be right, speak your truth. Not everybody might be on a level that they agree with you, which is okay, but in peace, and let the kids create what they need to create so we can all go home. However that unfolds is your choice. You have a computer, you're all over the world by clicking on online pictures and calling people. That's how it begins. That's your preparation. You have movies like Oblivion, movies like After Earth, movies like Elysium. To prepare you, there are possibilities that you can expand your spirit and travel other dimensions and become an interdimensional traveler and remember who you are. And trust me, out there's lots to learn. Basically, this is not even the peak. This is the beginning, and I'm just saying that, so see how that feels after this video. See how you feel, how you see reality. You can test that by putting your hand on the wall and say, now I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming this. And I'm creating consciously the dream as I become the conscious dreamer. And I can change anything that is needed to the upliftment where I need to be going. And it's in your core as a godly light being, having a so-called imagined human experience. Anything is possible from here on. There's no limit to what you can bring in and where this will lead you. And with this, I leave you, and you might feel weird or have goosebumps or you breathe heavy or your heart feels heavy. It's because you understand. Your cell structure understands what I'm relaying to you. This is very important. And do not forget who you are. Do not forget your true self. Be that. With all the love that I have for all those that watch me, I'm very grateful and thankful that we have a system that we can communicate on that level. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much. Namaste.